Oba Esigie of the Kingdom of Benin was a ruler whose brilliance transformed an empire. Born into the powerful Benin royal family during the late 15th century, Esigie ascended the throne in a time of both internal division and external opportunity. The Kingdom of Benin, located in present-day southern Nigeria, was one of the most advanced and artistically rich civilizations in all of West Africa. But when Esigie's father, Oba Ozalua, passed away, a bitter succession crisis erupted between Esigie and his brother Arwerin. The kingdom teetered on the edge of civil war, its future uncertain. What followed was a story of cunning, reform, and resilience. Unlike other contenders for the throne who relied solely on brute force, Esigie was deeply educated and politically savvy. With the support of his formidable mother, Queen Idia, he consolidated his power in the capital of Benin City. Idia herself played a critical role not just as a queen mother, but as a military strategist and spiritual leader. She helped rally loyal factions, marshaled troops, and even led forces into battle against Esigie's enemies. Her presence was so profound that she became the first Ioba, or Queen Mother, in Benin history, establishing a precedent for female political power. In a society often defined by patriarchy, Esigie's ascent wasn't simply a personal triumph, it was a testament to the fusion of intellect, strategy, and family legacy. Once he stabilized the throne, Esigie turned his attention to unifying the kingdom and repelling external threats. One of the most significant challenges came from the Igala people to the north, who sought to take advantage of Benin's earlier instability. Esigie, with his mother's continued support, organized a successful military campaign to defeat the Igala, thereby reaffirming Benin's dominance in the region. This victory wasn't just territorial, it reinforced central authority, restored trade routes, and reinvigorated national pride. But Esigie's genius wasn't limited to warfare. He was a visionary ruler who recognized the shifting tides of global commerce. During his reign, Portuguese explorers and traders arrived on the West African coast. Rather than rejecting these newcomers, Esigie saw an opportunity. He initiated diplomatic relations with Portugal, sending envoys and even learning some Portuguese himself. These interactions weren't merely symbolic, they were strategic. Esigie established trade agreements that brought firearms and horses into Benin, enhancing the kingdom's military capabilities. In return, Benin offered pepper, ivory, and art. But unlike many other African kingdoms, Esigie was cautious about the slave trade. While some transactions did occur, Benin under his rule maintained a careful balance, prioritizing sovereignty over profit. One of Esigie's most enduring legacies lies in his transformation of Benin's religious and administrative institutions. He formalized court rituals, expanded the guild system, and strengthened the role of the Oba as both a spiritual and political leader. Under Esigie, the Oba was not just a king, he was the divine mediator between the heavens and earth. This sacral kingship infused every aspect of Benin society, from law to art to warfare. The court of Benin became a vibrant center of pageantry and governance, with elaborate ceremonies, councils of chiefs, and rituals that reinforced loyalty to the throne. Esigie's reign also sparked a golden age in Benin's artistic tradition. The famed Benin bronzes, exquisite brass and ivory plaques, statues, and ceremonial objects flourished during and after his rule. These artworks weren't just decorative. They were historical records capturing moments of triumph, lineage, and mythology. Many of the bronzes commissioned during Esigie's time depicted Queen Idia, immortalizing her as a symbol of strength and maternal power. Today, these artifacts are revered globally and remain at the center of international debates about culture, our restitution, and colonial plunder. Education and language were other pillars of Esigie's legacy. It's widely believed that he established one of the earliest forms of formal education in the kingdom, especially for members of the royal court. He encouraged the use of both traditional oral histories and written documentation, especially as Portuguese influence grew. This bilingual openness allowed Benin to navigate foreign diplomacy with nuance, preserving its culture while engaging the wider world. Despite the immense pressures of leadership, Esigie ruled for decades, an astonishing feat in any era. His rule left the kingdom not only more unified, but also more globally connected and culturally enriched. He transformed Benin into a formidable political power, a beacon of artistic excellence, and a model of spiritual leadership. The story of Oba Esigie is also inseparable from the story of Queen Idia. Without her, his path to power might have been blocked. She represented a new paradigm in African governance, one where women could wield influence, not just behind the scenes, but at the forefront of national affairs. The sacred status of the Ioba with her own palace and ceremonial privileges, began with her. Today, the iconic ivory mask of Queen Idia, with her regal face framed by intricate carvings, remains one of the most recognized symbols of African artistry. It serves as both a tribute to her son's greatness and a reminder of her own indelible impact. Oba Esiege's death marked the end of an era, but his reforms continued to shape the Benin Empire for generations. His diplomatic foundations allowed future Obas to manage European relations with foresight. His administrative policies fortified the bureaucracy and enhanced royal legitimacy, and his cultural patronage left behind a legacy of beauty, symbolism, and power that still echoes today. Even centuries later, the name Esigie stands tall not just as a king, but as a statesman, artist, diplomat, and innovator. His reign challenges modern assumptions about pre-colonial Africa. Far from being isolated or static, kingdoms like Benin were dynamic centers of intellect, trade, and governance, and leaders like Esigie were every bit the equal of their European contemporaries in sophistication and ambition. In today's world, where African history is often misrepresented or overlooked, the legacy of Oba Esigie offers a powerful corrective. He reminds us that African civilizations had complex political systems, rich artistic traditions, and visionary rulers who shaped world history. To understand Oba Esigie is to reclaim a piece of that forgotten excellence. Follow for more history they never taught us in school.